Despite the warm handshakes at their first meeting, both Chinese Defense Minister Chang Wanquan and U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel are trying to bridge differences at a time of increased friction in the Asia-Pacific. In a joint press conference, General Chang told reporters the U.S. movement of additional military resources into the Asia-Pacific region has heightened the chance of conflict.
To a certain
degree, this kind of intensified military activities have further complicated the situation in the region.
Disputes between China and neighbors Japan and the Philippines are on the rise over the sovereignty of island groups in the East and South China Seas. The U.S. has military alliances with both the Japanese and the Filipinos.
While the United States does not take a position on sovereignty in these cases, we do have an interest in these claims being resolved peacefully, without coercion.
Monday, General Chang said he and Secretary Hagel made progress towards a notification system to alert each other of military operations in the region in order to prevent conflicts. China and the U.S. have also stepped up their military cooperation around the world, including their second counter-piracy exercise in the Gulf of Aden this weekend, the first Chinese disaster relief and humanitarian assistance exercise with active force in Hawaii this November, and Chinese participation in the Rim of the Pacific or RIMPAC naval exercises next summer along with nations like Australia, Japan, and Indonesia. Former CIA China analyst Chris Johnson says Chinese participation is unprecedented.
So I think there's a lot riding on this, especially in terms of perceptions in the region about the ability of the U.S. and China to get along and to operate together in the military sphere.
But on the issue of cybersecurity, where both nations have traded accusations of spying and hacking, General Chang sought to diminish U.S. claims that the Chinese military is behind cyber intrusions in the United States.
We are facing severe threats from cyber attacks. The Chinese government opposes and cracks down on cyber crimes according to our laws, and the Chinese military has never supported any form of hacker activities.
Former CIA China analyst Chris Johnson says that type of defensive posture could make it challenging for the newly established cybersecurity working group to make progress on cutting down the numbers of cyber attacks on both sides of the Pacific. Meantime, the discussions begun Monday will likely continue when both General Chang and Secretary Hagel meet with other defense ministers in the ASEAN region next week. Stone, CCTV, Washington.